Welcome back, awesome Ashley fans and subscribers. Very happy day is Annex 2179 and the worst crossover Acid Rain World day. The worst Annex 29 crossover 2. So I've got 3 Cortex infantry figures. I've got the one Cortex Flame Trooper, and I bought both of the Cortex Commander. There's the Transcranial Tyrant, this one, and the Brain Freeze, the white one. These are obviously using the Omanga bodies with different necks and these sort of brain heads, which I think look fantastic. And I've got just a figure in mind who can be their overall commander and leader. Check this out. Because he's got the big brain as well. Or I used that head on another figure. I think he'd look great leading them, paint that brain up a bit of a pinky colour. Ink it with a nice red and some dry brushing to highlights. That would look fantastic. So these came today, and I reviewed them today. And to let you know, the day today is Friday the 9th of June 2023. So if you're watching this later, you may want to consider joining the Patreon. It's absolutely free for 7 days. And after 7 days, you can say, no, I don't want to join. I don't want to pay. And you can cancel. So it's worth doing that. There's a link in the top right of you now. So Cortex Infantry, as the usual, Acid Rain World and sort of Annex 179. The box is so dark on the back. But it's just a figure. We've seen the figure already, apart from the neck and the head. Rocket launcher and gun we've seen already. For the Flame Trooper, will it have the... it's not the metal pipe we saw with the original Omanga Flame Troopers, but still the same. Rubber pipe, looks nice. And then these two are just the same, just different colours. We've got so much glare there. Ah! There we go. We've got the Cortex Commanders, the Transcranial Tyrant, and we got the... we can see that. And we got the Brain Freeze. Both really cool, but they are carded, not boxed, which is a bit of a... yeah, much rather they were on a box and not carded. But they look pretty cool. And they've got backpacks or things behind them, it looks like, for their accessories. Okay, I'm going to open these up, set them up, and I'll be back in an instant. Stay tuned, and let's get into this. Okay, here they are, and they do look fantastic. Just a quick note, with the commanders, what I did was I just sliced the plastic along the bottom, a bit messy on the cutting there. Then you can take out the little insert, take out the figure. You want to put it back afterwards, you can, and you can keep it, and it doesn't damage this nice artwork. What I didn't show you on the back, it actually tells you some stuff which you can pause and read through there if you want to. Back illustration by Kit Lau. So Kit Lau did that. Fantastic. We do like Kit Lau. Awesome, awesome looking figures. Okay, so let's get a close look. We'll go the outsides first. So the Flame Trooper. We've seen the Flame Trooper with Acid Rainbow before. I'll put a link in the top right for you. The Omanga ones with the chain, which is fantastic. Obviously, this guy's different because he's got the different head and he's got the different shoulder articulation, which we'll look at later. But that does look good, and they hold it so well because that bicep bend is fantastic. Very, very nice. Then exactly the same figure, I think. Oh no, I'm telling a lie. There is a slight difference. Then the infantry one doesn't have that sort of raised... I've forgotten what it was called now. The neck protector. The sort of raised collar there. But otherwise, it's the same figure. Looks wicked. Now you see the gun goes in the back nicely. You can also swap around because you've got the peg on the rocket launcher, and that can go on the back as well. Then he can hold it. Oops, falls off. Then he can hold his gun. Now, these guns are the same guns with the Omangas before, which is fantastic because they're great looking guns. Rocket launcher we've seen before as well. The rocket does come out. I should add. That's in place now, so we can hold it like this if you want to be at this way instead. So if I've got 3, I can have 2 like this and 1 with the rocket launcher. Now with the actual heads, you can take off the helmet separately, which is fantastic. It's a great looking helmet, almost like a German helmet. And you can see they can take off the protective part for the brain. You can take off the little brain from the stem, and you should be able to, he says, somehow. This part goes in there, I see. I'm assuming that comes out too, because that looks like it's on the peg. Yeah, that can pop out, I can see. There we go. But you need quite a big head to fit in that. So that will pop in there. That will pop in there. The brain or the lower part going towards the back pops back on there. You put your protective part on, and you can put the helmet back on again. And those helmets are quite big, so they'll fit a number of figures, which is fantastic. And then lastly, the last two, they're the same, just different colours. I think I prefer Brain Freeze's outfit with the red on Cranial Commander. Now you'll notice that the gun is not a drilled barrel. There's an indentation, but it's not a drilled barrel. Got a nice little tie, got his medals there. I put his knife there. There's no real place for the grenades. He's holding one and one tucked into the belt there, but there's not an actual loop for the grenade. So here you can see I've got both his grenades tucked into his belt. He's holding a knife, and his knife and gun I think probably look better with his golden colour. The other thing to notice about these, that's the grenade, about these guys is that their weapons are quite flimsy. Not as flimsy as the Detective Smith Annex 2179, which is like an amazing figure with great weapons but too flimsy, but they are still flimsy compared to your normal Annex 2179 and your normal Acid Rain mode. However, they do look nice. I'm going to bend this handle on a grenade and stick it back here again. Hopefully it will stay this time. Oh, come on, stay, grenade, don't go. Well, that's going to drop out. That'll do again for now. I prefer the contrast with the Brain Freeze, but I'll be tempted to swap the heads around, or at least the visors around to that red visor. Very cool figures. Now, articulation is going to be identical for all of them, so I'll only show on one. I will show on this guy here, I think. Just take his gun out and take the grenade off. All right, his hand. So articulation, so head, you can turn left and right, but there's no eyes to look. There's a small forwards, backwards, and there's a side to side too. Shoulders, all the way around, upwards. It is not bad. Better than a lot of the other Acid Rain ones because he goes over 90 degrees. He's popping apart at the waist there. He has a small shoulder roll forwards and backwards, which is fantastic as well. Bicep's going to be fantastic. Look at that, well over 90 degrees on the bicep. He has gun articulation on his left hand. You can swivel from the bicep, and he has wave articulation on both hands. No gun articulation. He has trunk, small forwards, backwards, small side to side. He can turn. Waist, he can't turn. Hips, not great, but it's okay. Forwards is fantastic. Backwards is fantastic, almost a full splits. There's a thigh turn. There's a double kneecap. He gets nice and tight. And then they got the best foot articulation because they have a boot turn. They have the foot swivel side to side. They have very good tippy toe. And they got really, really good dorsiflexation. There's no toe articulation like I see in a lot of the Joy Toy figures. That's fine. They also got quite big feet, so they stand up really, really well. Now, they also have ratchets in the ankle joints, so you get a nice firm pose. But the original mangas, there was no neutral positions. You always had to be in an action pose to stand up. These are great looking figures, it has to be said. Let me get an idea of their size and do a quick comparison. So ones with the helmet are about 10.5. Likewise without the helmet, not much difference. Very cool. So if I do a comparison, I'll use that mutant man with a big brain first, quite his name, from Marvel. It's a cheap figure, especially now, because he's old. And he's taller, but he could work, or at least that head could work as one of the leaders, you know. Psychic powers controlling these brain troopers. Very, very cool indeed. So size-wise, they're great. Let me use a Joy Toy figure. This is my Cortex Raja custom. Just got a Fortnite head on and a Shodu box blade arm. So I move them across a little bit. But he's indicative of Fortnite figures. Of a lot of the Joy Toy figures. So in terms of size, again, scale very well. They could work in the same universe. If you'd like to use your Boss Fight Studio blanks, here's a Boss Fight Studio normal figure, the Sigurd the Wanderer, who's always on my desk anyway. Scales very well again. And I think I will do one more comparison for those you like your Marauder Task Force. Here is one of the Valkyries, which is a great looking figure. I love Marauder figures. The articulation is not as good as the Acid Rain World or Annex 2079, but the options for loadouts are massive. And again, you see they do scale very well. These are great looking figures. I want to say that they're going to be in the running for best figures or top 10 figures for 2023 at the moment, because they're just so different. It's so unique having that sort of brain there. They are great figures. They're going to work in so many universes. In the zombie universe, they will work. In your sci-fi, in your World War II sort of German Nazi experiments universe and whatnot. Great looking figures. I do like them a lot. Okay, this is Awesome Match Toys signing out, saying please like, share, subscribe, consider joining the Patreon. It's free for 7 days. You don't have to pay anything of that. You can just cancel. Link in the video description below, along with discount codes for some of the better 118 toy sellers out there. I will see you next video. Stay happy, keep collecting. Bye bye.